Hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Gannon here, joined by my lovely co-host of the One Pod Podcast, Dylan.
What's up, everybody?
How are you doing today, Dylan?
I'm doing just fantastic, yeah.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic as well because, Dylan, we are finally getting to one of our favorite theories of all time. We've been covering theories as of late, and this one has just always been in the back of my mind for a while. Ever since I've seen that one episode, really, and the thoughts have been stirring in my head, I've always been thinking that this is one of those theories that has the most legitimacy. One that could, seriously happen in the One Piece story. Today, we are going to be talking about all the reasons why Crocodile is a woman. Dylan, are you prepared?
I am prepared.
Excellent. But first, before we get into it, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, so if you see this video and you enjoy it, be very flattered if you were to subscribe to the channel. Going to be covering a lot of One Piece content, a lot of nerd and geeky content, so if that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's just get right into it, Dylan. Crocodile is, to me, absolutely a woman.
100%.
Absolutely. Especially after going over this theory today with you, Dylan, I'm so convinced. There's no doubt in my mind.
I don't think there's any, really big, smoking guns necessarily for this theory, but there's no evidence that refutes this theory, and that there's a lot of evidence that would suggest this theory is true.
And also, a little handful of that evidence directly comes from the author of the series himself, Oda. I almost feel like, after me and Dylan went through all the evidence that has been shown in the stories, in the data cards, and all this stuff, it almost feels like Oda's kind of repping this theory himself. It's a little bit too convenient that all this stuff is adding up, and especially when you get into some of the comments he's made regarding this little incident, it just becomes so clear. Crocodile is 100% the first transgender character in One Piece. We have Kiku, who is, actually trans. She identifies as a girl. They refer to her as she. She states that she's always felt like a girl at heart. And while her brother, Izo, is just a cross-dressing man, it has been kind of, implied that Kiku is a trans character. She may not be the first, real actual trans character in One Piece. It's realistic that Crocodile could have done that. And you'll see here that while we do have, the cross-switching Okama, a majority of the Okama aren't actually trans. I would probably argue and go to say that, the small handful of them that have been influenced by Ivankov's fruit are trans, but also, there needs to be a distinction, because
there is Inazuma, though. Inazuma is, we've seen Inazuma as both a full-blown woman and a full-blown
Okay, so, if we're going by today's, terms, I feel like maybe you would classify, Izuma as gender fluid,
fluid, yeah.
Actually just, doesn't have a gender and legitimately switches between it, between panels. The change is almost comedic, because you'll go from one panel to the other. Inazuma off-screen just reverts or changes into a different gender. So, I would like to think that Crocodile could be the first ever legitimately transgender character in the series. All that little babbling out of the way, let's get into the actual evidence, Dylan. I don't think we're going to be talking about this much, because everything here is pretty, concrete. None of it is too vague, and there is definitely, a definite amount of evidence here. We have bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. The first most biggest piece of evidence is the first thing that popped up in the story that actually made us start thinking that this was a possibility. It all first started when chapter 540 came out. Initial rumors about Crocodile being a woman started then, when Ivankov and Luffy show up to Crocodile's cell in Impel Down, and Ivankov basically says that if Crocodile acts up, Ivankov knows his weakness.
His secret.
Oh yeah, his secret. He knows his secret.
He did call it a weakness, though, I think.
Afterwards, he goes on to say that it is a mysterious weakness. It's not elaborated on at all, but yeah, you're right, Dylan. It is initially referred to as his secret, and then they kind of go into another little voice line talking about how it's his weakness. It's no way elaborated on, but it does visibly frustrate the usually calm, cool, and collected Crocodile enough for him to call Ivankov a bastard. Yeah. Now, this is pretty striking and noticeable because all throughout Impel Down, Crocodile has this really cool demeanor because, honestly, you have the guy who basically sent him to this prison showing up, and you don't want to act like you're a little bitch in prison. You just want to act cool, like, yeah, I could have busted out of this place whenever I wanted to. And the only time he actually got visibly frustrated was with that interaction with Ivankov. Also, Crocodile says, and it's also kind of implied in the cover story, that he let himself be taken and taken to Impel Down, probably because he was so disappointed in himself after his defeat. And then I think he even states a couple of times that he could have escaped if he wanted to by himself, but I honestly don't know how true that is. I mean, dude, you're a Logia fruit user and you're Crocodile, but at the end of the day, you're really sea-stoned up at the bottom level. Like, you're not getting out by yourself. No shot.
Like, dude, there's people like Doflamingo who are down there and can't even escape on their own, so...
Yeah, no, for sure. You can't just escape from Impel Down by yourself unless you're Shiki and you cut off your own damn legs to do it, okay? Yep. And he has the flying fruit. He has the fruit that's basically makes it easiest for him to leave Impel Down, because he could just float straight to the top, and then when he gets to the surface, he doesn't have to worry about the comm belt because he has the float fruit. The float fruit is also just the inferior magnet fruit, by the way, people.
Yeah, like, literally.
Crocodile's also shown multiple times at Roger's execution scenes, and they've revised it at least once or twice, and it's been shown multiple times in the anime. All the other promising rookies who are there have their faces shown. This includes Mihawk, Gecko Moria, and Dofi. Yet on all the occasions, whether it be in the anime or the manga, they make almost a really explicit note to cover Crocodile's face every time.
And front of their body as well.
Oh, like, yeah, for sure. Like, they don't show anything. It's almost like what his appearance is like during that time frame and that period in history is meant to be kept a secret. It's either because Oda is legitimately trolling us and he really wants us to believe this is the case and he's leading us on and gaslighting us, or because this really is the case. Crocodile was a woman, and Crocodile was switched up using the hormone fruit by Ivankov, and Crocodile was very content with this, and he probably decided perhaps it would be advantageous for him to go into the pirating world as a man. Either that, or Crocodile is just, like, legitimately transgender, and he likes being a man. He was once a woman, and he just likes being a man. Either that...
We already have characters like, what's her name? Zoro's, like, sister person.
Kuina?
You know? Yeah. She literally wanted to be a man as well, and, like, she said, like, you know, it's more advantageous to be a man as a swordsman than a woman. So, like, it would make sense if there are other characters here who, like, viewed the same thing, but with, like, pirating, that, well, it's better to be a man in the pirating world than a woman, and except this person, Crocodile, actually had the chance to become a man through Ivankov.
Yeah, all politics aside, people, like, we're not here talking about a philosophical discussion, talking about how men on average are, like, stronger than women or anything. We're just talking about the hypothetical possibility that perhaps Crocodile would think that it would be more advantageous, and he would probably maybe even be stronger if he was a man, because Kuina, a character who is also a woman, thought this herself. It's totally realistic to think in this situation Crocodile can think the same thing. And then also, like I said before, there is just that other half of it to the point where Crocodile just likes being a man. If it wasn't true initially, is now true, because Crocodile is seemingly more than comfortable in this form. He sees Ivankov. He doesn't imply that he wants to revert back into a woman in any way. So I just think that Crocodile is really the first transgender character in One Piece. Also, another thing we need to mention, Dylan, is that all of the warlords, they have themselves depicted as both women and children. Crocodile, depicted as a child, is strangely, conveniently androgynous. I will put it up on the screen right now, but if you actually look at this and you compare it to the other children as warlords, you kind of start to see how Crocodiles could really realistically be either a boy or just kind of a tomboy girl. It's kind of not truly explicit that this is a dude or a girl, is what I'm trying to say. This could easily just be a girl that's slightly tomboyish that gives you the impression of a man. So it's just kind of convenient to me that the one warlord who is depicted as a child with the androgynous look also happens to be the one where there's this huge conspiracy that's actually backed by panel evidence that Crocodile is indeed a woman. I feel like everything is just fitting together here. And not only do I think this theory is true, but I just ship it at this point. Like, I 100% want this to be the case. I think it would be so cool. I think it would just be amazing if we finally just got the confirmation, like, yeah, guys, Crocodile used to be a woman, and he was influenced and he transitioned through means of the hormone.
It would be really cool, too, if this came to light later on the story when, you know, Crocodile inevitably gets reintroduced into the story somehow.
Oh, absolutely. I
That'd
mean,
be
Crocodile's 100% coming back in the story. Me and Dylan were talking about this. We both 100% agree. Oda would not have brought him to Marineford, and he wouldn't have had him and Mr. One go to the New World and cover stories if he wasn't going to bring back Crocodile again. I mean, it's just so obvious. But the last thing that we need to mention is the actual comments that Oda has said regarding both just his relationship with Ivankov, and then also he made just a really vague comment regarding the gender bender picture of Crocodile. And I don't know if the gender bender other warlords also got like comments, or if maybe Oda just took time to make a particular comment about Crocodile. That would be crazy. I don't know. I actually could not find the SPS where the warlords show up as women. I was looking all over for it before this video, but I was just not getting that information from Google or the wiki. But I will say this, it's stated in a data card. Oda makes a comment. He says he's got a weakness when it comes to his past that he can't oppose. He definitely owes something that Ivankov gave to him. Dude, that is just confirmation to me.
It's the one and only character in the story who can change your gender, and there's so many mysterious things regarding Crocodile's gender. Like, Oda is purposely making it mysterious, and like it's a character who has a relation to the person who can change your gender. Like, come on.
Dude, also, this is coming straight out of the goat's mouth. This is coming out of Oda's mouth. He says that he owes something that Ivankov gave to him. What else can Ivankov give you permanently rather than a fucking sex change? What, can she like augment your body to, you know, change it a little bit, make it move faster, make it stronger, make it more resistant to poison? But why would any of this concern Crocodile? Why would he be concerned if people knew that he was augmented with the hormone fruit and made stronger when he's already kind of mid to begin with? Only clear answer here is that this is a confirmation and Crocodile is a woman! Crocodile is a woman! And Crocodile is the first actual transgender character to show up in the series. I could be wrong. Maybe there's another, but like, come on. I'm pretty sure this is it. If Crocodile does end up being like previously a woman. But Dylan, anything else you want to say about this theory before we wrap it up?
I don't think so, no.
The only thing I want to say is that I love this theory. It's baller.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just want it to be true. I feel like I'm going to have a bright, big-ass smile on my face the day this actually turns out to be true. And it's just cool. I mean, it won't affect anything. Crocodile will probably remain a man. But just the fact that we've been theorizing about this for a while, it would be a cool, awesome, twisty bit to Crocodile's past. He's already a very awesome, established, veteran character in the series. And this would just make him a lot better to me. I just feel like this would add that depth that I thirst for. But with all that being said, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Crocodile is a woman, or do you think that we are just blowing smoke up our ass? Leave that down in the comments below. I will be sure to get back to you. If you are enjoying the content on the channel, as I said, I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subs. That would be really awesome to me. It would make me really happy. So if you're enjoying the content on the channel, I'd be very flattered for you to subscribe. Slap a like on this video if you liked it. And with all that being said, me and Dylan are going to have to see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Goodbye.